Disrespecting the previous coaches that were here or anything. It's just different system, different style of D-line play that, Coach Zimmer's brought in. So I think it suits him better. Instead of just running upfield, he's going to play blocks. He's going to grind blocks and double teams and all that stuff, especially in the run game.
That was Jeff Z, Dallas Cowboys' new defensive line coach. One of the things that I love that he said was, we're going to get Mazi Smith playing a way that suits him, the way that he played in college. Mazi Smith in college played with hands, he two-gapped, and though Dan Quinn has been on record saying that he didn't ask him to shoot gaps, that he didn't ask him to get upfield, the way Mazi played, he was kind of confused. Now, I want to start this video by being extremely objective. Mazi Smith did not play good football. I want to make that very clear. His PFF splits, as I'll show right here, they were just awful. But we got to get to what was the issue. Coming out of Michigan, Mazi had great hands. He played with gap control. He had foot quickness at the line of scrimmage, not foot quickness to penetrate the line of scrimmage. And I think that's an important point. But what was the issue in the NFL? To be honest with you, there's really only two things that Mazi needs to clean up to become a good football player. Number one, he needs to feel when he's getting double teamed. I'll show you guys the San Francisco game where not only Mazi Smith played bad, but the run fit and the run identity was awful. I've been going through all the Cowboys games with a fine-tooth comb trying to figure out why did Dallas's defense really hit a lull. And I'll be honest with you, San Francisco and Arizona put out the blueprint. Miami, the Bills, and Green Bay just copied. And number two, and most importantly, Mazi Smith needs to get off the ball a little bit better. Let's get to some film. We're not going to stay too long there, but I just want to make a few examples and hit on a few examples of just how Mazi Smith can play better football. All right, so before we run this play, I just want to remind you guys two things he needs to work on: getting off the ball a little bit quicker and recognizing double teams. I think that's very important, like feeling when you're getting double. But he does do some really good things, man. Like on this rep, you just see the NFL strength. And I want you guys to watch right here. Watch the snapback in his hands. I call it snapback. D-line guys right there. Okay. 64 is trying to anchor here. And he's doing a good job, choppy steps. But look how Mazi is able to get under his pads and just walk him into Brock Purdy's lap. Like there's a world where like you continue to do that in the NFL, and that's like good football. And you continue to do that in the NFL, you'll continue to get paid. Just walk them right back to the quarterback's lap. Make the pocket collapse, make them feel pressure. That's where these quarterbacks will lead to errant throws, picks, antsy feet in the pocket. So, like, there's a world for that, and that really is NFL strength. And these are some of the things that Mazi Smith can do well. He did have really good strength and athleticism coming out of Michigan. Now, I'm going to show this play of Jonathan Hankins getting reached in double team. And the reason why I showed this play is because, yes, we all like Jonathan Hankins, but it goes back to my point about Dan Quinn. What was the philosophy on rundowns and for this run defense with even guys like Hankins? I mean, this is Jonathan Hankins. He doesn't feel himself getting reached. And I just think that that's an overall team vibe. Okay. Look at Donovan Wilson. Okay. He takes a bad angle. Ayuk just washes him down. Who's that in the run fit? That's Gilmore. You never want a fullback lined up you never want a corner on a fullback. But even so, I would have liked Gilmore to give a little bit more effort. But it's just the effort and the mentality, run game wise, just wasn't enough. And then here's Mazi getting reached in double team. So I use Jonathan Hankins for an example just to be objective, but like Mazi gives up this run because he gets reached and he gets doubled. And it looks like it's just outside zone. So the overtake player is going to be 65. So right there, right here, all right, it's called a squat anchor technique. As a 3 or 1 tech, nose tackle, whatever the case may be, you now have to sit down. You feel yourself getting double teamed. This is just outside zone. 24 does a great job of cutting it back. and he cuts it back because DeMarcus Lawrence kind of forces the issue. He plays good defense on this rep. But it's still a 5-yard gain. Why? Because look where Mazi is. Look where he starts. Look where he finishes. So he's not playing on the other side of the ball. The snap is slow. His get off is slow off the snap. And he doesn't feel the double team. When you feel yourself getting doubled, have to anchor. The another thing is, if you look, Marquise Bell is just light. He's just little in there. You can see it better from this angle. Look at Marquise Bell. Because Mazi is getting walked into his lap, okay, he can't even find the play. So it's just instances like these that if Mazi could play better. Now, I'm going to stop it here because this was one of the issues that I had with Dan Quinn and just the way that the Cowboys literally fit and aligned to the run. This is a 4-2-5 nickel, essentially, 5 DBs on the field. But the problem is you're in the goal line. Well, you're not on the goal line, but you're in the red area. And, like, it's trap. So we're going to watch Micah just get released upfield. Tackle traps him. So he's just upfield. Now, there should have been a penalty on Trent Williams. He does kind of grab Osa there. But Osa not playing with hands, not playing with good leverage. He still should have been able to keep his feet. But I want you guys to watch. Watch LVE and watch Damone Clark here. Boom. Damone Clark gets blocked 5 yards up the field, and LVE is catching. So what LVE should have done and what a good linebacker is going to do is put their shoulder pad in that guard's chest. Same with Damone Clark. But I know Kittle's a good blocker, but, like, you can't let him get on you. Jordan Lewis gets ran over. He does do a good job getting the ball out of there. But the point is, like, run defense-wise, like, this stuff, there needs to be a little bit more attack. If you go watch Kansas City play San Francisco, Leo Chenal, those linebackers did a great job of forcing the issue. Those linemen did a great job of forcing the issue with those blockers and those lead blockers and the way that Shanahan wanted to play. They took the fight to them. I kind of want, I want this defense this year to kind of take the fight to team. So just a quick film review of some of the issues, not only with Mazi Smith, but just with the run game in general. In conclusion, I'm not saying that Mazi Smith will be a Pro Bowler. I actually don't know how good he's going to play. But I do have faith that Mike Zimmer, a guy who is a discipline-oriented coach, a guy who will give these guys an assignment, and this is what you're supposed to do, and we're not going to take anything else. Like, there's no other option. It has to be done this way for this reason. I think under Mike Zimmer, he can at least play better, and I think at least play to his strengths. Now, if he can't do that and he doesn't pan out to anything, then I was wrong. The whole Cowboys community was wrong. But I at least want to award him and give him the opportunity to get better. A guy like Jeff Z, who it's clear he knows the plan for Mazi Smith, and he's not going to let him fail. You could tell by the way he coaches, by the way he talks. I've done my research on Jeff Z. He's a very good coach. The other thing is this. Not only will Mazi Smith play better, but I think that the run fits, especially when you talk about personnel versus personnel, will look different. You'll match 12 personnel with big linebackers, big D linemen, and the linemen will have certain identities as to how they're supposed to play certain blocks and how they're supposed to play certain gaps. So I think that Mazi Smith can be saved. It's going to take work, but I think Mike Zimmer is the guy to do it. It's your boy Foots. Got some big things happening on the channel. You guys stay tuned. Thank you all for liking, sharing, subscribing. Big week ahead of us. OTAs, content.